Wagwan, you little lengtings. Yes, what's going on, friends, and welcome on home. Welcome home. Welcome home to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. As always, I hope you're doing well, friends. I really do hope that. And welcome on back to Chelsea News. That's right. It is the daily series here on the channel where I reflect on what's being said about Chelsea across that horrible and grubby World Wide Web. Give me my thoughts on it. More importantly, as always, I ask for yours down in the comments. Today, we are reacting to a bunch of stuff. First of all, very dramatic statement from Moises Caicedo about people he can trust. Kendry Paez won Young Player of the month, September in League 1. But does he deserve it? Is he going to be good? Some conflicting opinions there. Gittens and George linking up for England's under-21 for the only goal to see them win that game. But Gittens looked pretty darn good and probably deserves a little reminder of what he can offer Chelsea. And I did miss this story initially. It was floating around the atmosphere for a little while a few weeks ago. I didn't pick it up, but it's resurfaced in some quarters of the mainstream footballing media. Wharton, that's right, a really very good midfielder, Chelsea being linked. Why? I don't know. We've got millions of midfielders. But he is ruddy good, I'll tell you that much. Anyway, we're back. Strap yourselves in, get comfortable. If you do want to support the content, you're welcome to. It's super simple. You just like and subscribe. And heck, maybe drop some hype points down here somewhere. I think that's still happening. I'm not entirely sure. But daily content, of course. I'm putting a lot more effort into the production. So if you enjoy it, why not consider subscribing? Because like I said, you are all welcome. All right then, let's hop straight into the first segment. And that is Moises Caicedo's statement. He posted this on his social media yesterday. Chelsea Football Club star. Imagine referring to yourself as a star. Obviously his media teams put this out, but it's like say if I had someone who did my social media. Football Therapy host and star Jan has done this. Be funny if I did that. Anyway, sorry, let's read on. So yes, Chelsea Football Club star Moises Caicedo has separated from and is no longer represented by his former agent Manuel Sierra of Football Division Worldwide, and he is not represented by Ali Barrett of Epic. The contract ended on August the 14th, 2025, and the player has now appointed people that he can trust. Dramatique. If this ended months ago in August, which is a little while ago now, why make this statement about these people? I'm no longer with that geezer, and I'm no longer with him. I'm now with people I can trust. Seems like a very pointed, dare I say, needless public statement. I wonder if they've done something and he's like, right, I'm gonna absolutely disassociate myself with you, man, and tell people indirectly. Because he's saying they're untrustworthy. He's saying, I'm no longer with them, I'm with people I can trust. I think Nizar Kinsella of the BBC that said like he's appointed family in terms of his representation. Very dramatic, high octane stuff. I just hope personally he's not upset with elements of his Chelsea deal. I hope he's happy. I mean, I think he gets paid like 180 odd K a week, which is more, possibly the most of any of the new sort of era signings. Do you know what I mean? Obviously you've got Sterling, who's on silly money that we're trying to sort that out. Reece James is on big money, but that's kind of fine. I think we're all happy with that. I think he's on like 200k or 220k a week. He's the captain, he's amazing, he's proper Chelsea. He deserves it. I actually think Wes Fofana, who was before the new sporting director's plan, the new low age, is on like 190k. So Wes is on a lot of money too. He was sort of bought in that same transfer window as Sterling, I think, probably, maybe, possibly. Cucurella is similarly high, but again, you'd say Cucurella deserves it. So Moises Caicedo is a little bit less at 180, but it's still good money. Maybe he thinks, why did I sign a 10-year deal when I'm the best midfielder in the world and should be getting paid lots more money? Hopefully not. I think he's happy, by the way. He seems happy, but apparently not with these geezers. I don't know what happened. Let's move on. So, we're going to talk about Kendry Paez now, who was named Ligue 1 Young Player of the Month for September. Now, peut-être un peu bizarre, it might be a bit strange, because I was like, oh, that's good. I guess he's balling out for Strasbourg. Maybe he's following in the footsteps of Andre Santos, who was an incredible midfielder out in the French league while he was on loan there at our sister club, Strasbourg. I had a little look at Kendry Paez's rankings, his SofaScore ratings. It's all pretty stinky stuff. So I was like, why has this guy won this competition? Apparently it's like a fan-voted thing. But even so, like, you'd think the PSG youngsters would just clear up. I'm not entirely sure what's happened there or why he's won it, because when you looked at Andre Santos there, he was clearly amazing. He was putting in the tackles, he was leading, he was wearing the armband, he was scoring goals, he was doing all of it, mate. All of it. Now, hands up, guilty, Your Honour. I've not been watching Strasbourg games to watch Kendry Paez. Maybe I will watch the odd high-profile game. I know they're doing very well. But looking at his underlying metrics at a quick glance, which I won't bore you with because it's not scintillating and exciting, and we only like the sexy data, it does beg the question, why did he win this award? But anyway, look, I did want to bring it up. He is an amazing talent. Again, to remind you, we secured his signature or pre-contract thing around the same time as Estevao, and they were both very exciting. Of course, Kendry Paez broke loads of records for Ecuador and Independiente, who he played for, first team minutes at 15 years old. Basically doing what Max Dowman's doing for Arsenal, but playing more, because obviously it's a lower profile or lower level of football out there. But absolutely smashing it. And then as sort of time went on, he was pictured in nightclubs and we had a bit more concerns. Estevao, who by the way is a proper, devout Christian, God-fearing young man, won't do any of that stuff. And obviously started shining more and more and more. And here we are. Now everyone's talking about Estevao Willian, Chelsea's new Neymar, and it's all terribly exciting. And no one's really talking about Kendry Paez, who's on loan at Strasbourg, won this award, but hasn't really begun to shine yet. Now we're going to return onto midfielders when we speak about Adam Wharton, who's of course a very different profile. He's not an attacking midfielder, he's more of a deep-lying midfielder, Wharton. I did just want to briefly speak about Kendry Paez because, to remind you, apparently the briefing was the reason why we loaned the likes of Facundo Buonanotte on a straight loan, no option to buy, no obligation, but let alone an obligation, no option to buy, is Kendry Paez. Literally just this placeholder who can play well and confidently at a certain level in a position in Buonanotte to keep the spot, the rotational backup spot warm until this kid, Kendry Paez, can come in. Now, I don't think Paez, I don't want to pretend like I've watched loads of him. I don't know if he's as playmakery as Palmer's backup Buonanotte. But we'll see what happens. Very interesting. It's nice for the lad for him to win Young Player of the Month. I'm not sure what he's done to deserve it. If you've watched him, comment down below. Please do educate me because I always welcome that. And let's move on, shall we? Righty-ho! So, England's under-21s, the two Chelsea boys linking up. Jamie Gittens assisting Tyreek George, lashing a good finish for a 1-0 win for the three young Lions. Lovely to see it. And although Ty got the goal that saw England win, the higher rated player in terms of performance stats was Jamie Gittens. Let's have a look at his SofaScore rating. Whew, look at that, an 8.8. As you can see, he was playing very much as a left winger, but if you look at his heat map there, he was coming inside a little bit into that sort of left pocket. Ooh, Maresca likes that. He obviously got the assist in this game, but he also completed 5 dribbles. 75% of his long balls were accurate, which is great actually. Won the majority of his ground duels, but probably most notably, he created 3 big chances and made 5 key passes. Now, you might be going, Jan, it's Andorra's under-21s. And yes, you'd be right. But he's still playing on the pitch with, England's under-21 team, which is full of talent, by the way. The players that play in that squad are incredible. And he's the one who's executing and performing those numbers. 5 key passes in a single game is excellent. And 3 big chances, and of course, a match-winning assist is really, really important for his confidence. Now, just as we were sort of settling into the idea of Garnacho, he's Chelsea's starting left winger at the moment. If you want a dedicated left-sided player with a right foot, and you're not playing Neto out of position, you're not playing Cole Palmer out of position, which by the way, both have actually played well on the left wing in different ways. Neto plays as a sort of conventional left winger, a sort of left-footed left winger in that sense, but he's still out of position. despite what, we all want to see Cole Palmer in the 10, some people want to see him in a hybrid right wing role. God, that's hard to say. But on the left side, he's actually had a couple of really good games, Palmer. So he is genuinely an option there. But I think for the moment, horses for courses. Let's put, round pegs in round holes. Yeah? So a left-sided player should be like a Garnacho or a Gittens. And we've also settled, I think, on Garnacho. He hasn't scored or assisted yet, but he's looking really, really dangerous, and he makes Chelsea have this like high-octane outlet that can sort of roast the right back and just keep running and, be a bit selfless and have that quality as well. Now, Gittens is very fast as well. Gittens will be more of a 1v1 player. So he'll slow the game down, take his man on and 1v1 and dribble. He needs his confidence in his Chelsea side. It doesn't surprise me that Garnacho looks more comfortable playing for us than Gittens does, because Garnacho has played loads in the Premier League. He knows what it's all about, he's ready to go. Gittens, of course, has 100 appearances at a top 5 league club in Dortmund and Champions League experience, but the Prem is different gravy granules, mate. It's a different beast, and he's suffered from, that he doesn't look great yet, basically. He had maybe a couple of good cameos for Chelsea. He's got plenty of time, but when I was sort of like, trying to analyse his games, and, understandably many of you down in the comments were roasting him, I trying to, remind myself more than anything about what I've heard about Jamie Gittens. I've heard, again, to reference Seb Stafford-Bloor, he's a German football expert for The Athletic. He's a Tottenham fan, he's a Premier League fan, but he now covers German football. He speaks in detail on several different platforms about how Jamie Gittens is insanely talented and very, very exciting, and Chelsea fans should be excited about him. We'll wait and see, but I did think Jamie Gittens would settle more quickly than Steval, because Steval's never played in Europe, but apparently this kid has, a gift from God and just looks comfortable regardless. Doesn't surprise me that Garnacho settled in, but yeah, I am willing to really sort of not moan if I see Jamie Gittens starting some games for Chelsea, because he's got it. He has got it. It will work. I'm going to say if we make it work, it will work. We just need to be patient. So yeah, kind of exciting, really. A little reminder that we do have options there. I'm about to talk about Adam Wharton, but afterwards we can talk about if we do have spots in the squad where we should buy players and focus, for different targets than a midfielder. Some people would say left wing still. Anyway, let's move on and speak about Adam Wharton first. So yes, a story that went around the media a few weeks ago has resurfaced. The BBC are talking about how Chelsea are intensifying the pursuit of Wharton. # gossip. Can I just say, he's amazing, Adam Wharton, and he's being linked with Chelsea, Man United, Real Madrid are apparently interested, which doesn't surprise me at all. We keep talking about Real Madrid wanting to buy a certain profile of midfielder. Maybe they want Enzo Fernandez. I reckon if Fernandez went to Real Madrid, he would play more like he played for Argentina rather than he plays for Chelsea. Chelsea's a bit more advanced, sort of attacking eight, a box crasher, a goal scorer. I think if he went to Real Madrid, they'll want him to be a little bit more deep-lying like he was for Argentina in the World Cup win. Personally, that's what I think. But Adam Wharton is that player. He's, him or Anderson need to start for England, as far as I'm concerned, as an England fan, in terms of that profile. He's an amazingly talented player. He was right to stay at Palace another season. I reckon they'll be having an amazing time under Glasner. Of course, the high-profile exits have been Elise, and then Eze to Arsenal. It will be Adam Wharton next, and he will cost someone a lot of money because he's a very desired profile. He's the classic tidy midfielder that can put his foot on the ball. He gets loads of, I'm gonna say it, pre-assists. But he's that kind of player that, gets the attackers, the forwards that are going to combine for a goal. He gets them going. He runs games from midfield. He's an incredible footballer. Let me get that out there now. Do Chelsea need him? Absolutely ruddy not. What is happening? Do I think we're interested? Yes, probably, maybe. I can never say otherwise because we know what these sporting directors are like. They want everyone all the time. And he's a young player. He's a young player, he's got a high ceiling, he's high profile, he's got resale ability, he could potentially make the team better. But I just don't think we need him. I think we've got loads of amazing midfield talent. What's happening? What's happening? I think we've got 4 superstar level talents in the midfield that could go into 2 places, yeah? And that's without considering like a Dario Asugo, who I might be doing a disservice to, who's meant to be a really, really good talent himself. let's just say Fernandes stays, and you've got Fernandes and Caicedo, the bros. They're still there running midfield. They both do very different things. They're both very high profile. And then behind them, you've got Santos, who of course has got an incredibly high ceiling. You know, we haven't seen the best of him yet, but he's, you know, I've said in recent videos, I said yesterday, lots of people would want him starting in Chelsea's midfield. And then there's, of course, Romeo Lavia, who's not just got a high ceiling, he's amazing right now. Now, I will sort of die on this hill. In fact, I align myself with Cole Palmer, who only so recently said he's the most underrated footballer in the world. Romeo Lavia. Obviously they're mates, so he's just, you know, gassing up his boy or whatever. But he is mustard. Maresca last season said we played totally different with Romeo Lavia in the side. I think The Athletic did a couple of pieces on him that, you know, showed how Chelsea's win percentage is better with Lavia, how they play differently, how, you know, obviously he has those line-breaking passes that Palmer loves to receive inside the pocket and stuff. He's really, really good, Lavia. In certain games, against certain opposition, he should start for Chelsea, maybe at the expense of like an Enzo Fernandez, so he plays with a Caicedo in midfield or something. Superb options there. Now, of course, caveats here. Lavia is always ruddy injured, and maybe if Real Madrid comes sniffing around for Enzo Fernandez. So maybe there's a world where we think, okay, we want another superstar, high-profile midfielder. Fine. Like every other good player, if we sign an amazing talent, it's going to be very hard to be upset about it. Do you know what I mean? Chelsea signing Adam Wharton would be funny. It would be like, great. But, you know, where's my goalkeeper? Or do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. We'll see what happens. I'd be very, very shocked if this materialises, because it's certainly not a problem position with Chelsea on the pitch, which, you know, let's just quickly brainstorm then. So, goalkeeper for me is the big red flag, but of course, every time we return to this talking point, there is a big, you know, elephant in the room, which is young Mike Penders. Chelsea believe he's the guy and they don't want to block him. You know, again, we should have got Mike Maignan for a couple of years, in my opinion, but now we're in this sort of peculiar no man's land where we don't really know what to do. But I would still just go get a senior goalkeeper who immediately makes us better and doesn't do anything stupid. I'm not going to keep talking about that now because it's getting ruddy boring. We've got backups now. We've got Sugo, which is important backup to, you know, Caicedo, the aforementioned Sugo. In theory, Hato as well for Cucurella, although Hato's performances have been better at centre-back than left back. But in theory, you know, we've got backup there. It's a striker, isn't it? Like, it is. It is because Nico's gone. He's not going to come back. Everyone's made that decision. I think Maresca's kind of done with him as well. Though we've not really heard that in the mainstream media. I've sort of got a feeling that's the case. I did mention about left winger earlier. There'll be still some people that think, right, well, if we can get a really high profile left winger, that's an undeniable. Because at the moment we're thinking, Garnacho, Gittens, both got promise. None of them are like, bang, I'm Cole Palmer, I'm Caicedo, I'm Levi Colwill, I'm Reece James, I'm Joao Pedro, I need to start. Do you know what I mean? No one's just basically demanding they start. We'll see what happens there. I'm not entirely sure that would be a priority. I think Maresca would try and make it work with what he's got in his current winger position. But the fact that Joao Pedro doesn't do his best work as a striker now. He looks good, he can hold the ball up, he can score goals, but he doesn't take shots when he's playing the striker role in Maresca's system. In terms of occupying centre-backs, I think Delap is the starting striker for Chelsea. And, you know, whatever happens with Mark Yu, we don't know. We've spoken about it recently. I don't think his long-term future is at Chelsea, personally. I think he's just, you know, going to maybe get another high-profile loan. I think Chelsea would probably try and loan him and not just sell him immediately, although there's huge profit to be made. He costs £5 million. Yeah? If he shows he can operate at Premier League level and we sell him for 20, you've quadrupled your money already, which is insane. So Chelsea probably will just think he's a banker regardless. But I wonder if they would just be sure that he's not just going to become this absolute superstar. Or maybe you sell Mark Yu for 20 million quid and you put a buyback for 40 million. So if he does become amazing, you buy an amazing striker for not that much. Do you know what I mean? But it doesn't leave Chelsea short of striker. It's just literally Liam Delap. And Liam Delap, for as good as he is, he's still very young. To be the only starting Chelsea striker it's crazy. It's crazy, isn't it? So, like a proper conventional centre-forward profile, I think that would be a priority long before we look at the likes of Adam Wharton in midfield. But it's in the news, and therefore I've reacted to it here today on Chelsea News. So, let me know your thoughts please do open up the comment section. Yeah, that's okay. Let's start up the conversation amongst yourselves in the comments. I love to see it. Thank you as always for supporting the content, for liking the video and subscribing. Very grateful for you to hang out with me. And take care. Peace.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.